Hey, good morning. It is a beautiful Saturday morning, and I'm starting a new playlist, and I'm calling it the Small Business Growth Lab. Um, and you'll see if you're watching this, you probably saw the thumbnail that said EQFIT Activate. I'll explain that later. But what I really want to focus on today and in the future is this is straight talk with me. This is my experience. I've been doing this 40 years. I've been working with thousands of people, hundreds of organizations over that period of time as a consultant, as a coach, as an employee when I got out of college. So, a lot of different experience. But I want to kind of share with you just a minute about my background. My focus now is psychology, neuroscience, but all of that combined with all of my 40 plus years of business experience, sales experience to help small businesses grow, which is why I'm starting this. Now, you're going to find these are unscripted. I don't script these. I want this to be straight talk with me, and I tend to be pretty adaptive. There will be thoughts that come to my mind quite rapidly as we go through one of these. So I just want to share with you my heart about helping you. If you're an entrepreneur, you may be a solopreneur or entrepreneur, maybe you have two or three employees, maybe you have some gig employees or outsourced kind of people that help you. But what I really want to share with you today is my experience in LinkedIn versus Alignable. And I thought this was a very practical place to start. So I've been on LinkedIn for years. I don't remember how long, at least 10 years, if not longer. Alignable, I joined 2 or 3 years ago, but never really used it much. I guess because I really didn't understand what it was and how to leverage it, but I'm using it very heavily now. And I want to share all of that with you. But this is about what is your advantage and where is your advantage. So let me speak to that. If you've been around any time at all and been on LinkedIn, you know what LinkedIn is. It's a networking platform, but it's become very spammy. There's just so much going on now. If you're a small business that caters to large businesses, it's a great platform. And really, it's a good platform for all of us to be on. I'm not going to go away from LinkedIn, but the pluses and minuses are this: you get to connect with a lot of people. I'm up to being able to connect with 250 people a month. Um, I've created business pages that I have. I think on my EQFIT page, I have somewhere in the 1,600 to 1,700 people that are a part of that community, where I can share openly about a lot of the things that I think will help people. So in many ways, it's a way to reach large numbers of people, but you're also competing with very large numbers of people. Now, some other things that I do on LinkedIn that are very beneficial to me is I do LinkedIn Live events. You have to be a creator, you have to be approved as a creator, and then you can do LinkedIn Live events. And here's how I use those events. I focus in on educating people in certain, like, mindset creation, emotional intelligence skills, habit transformation, all of the things that I do to help small businesses grow. I talk about all those kinds of things. I've got one coming up in 2 weeks that's called Stop Spinning and Start Winning, which is stop spinning up here, where I talk about the different ways you can spin and not really be productive. But also, how can you start winning more, be more intentional? How can you transform habits to be more of those that serve you well? And how can you leverage emotional intelligence? How can you look at your own coachability or your trustworthiness or your response to conflict? All of those are assessments that I give to people when I work with them to give them a absolute clarity about where they are right now. Now I'm diving into the EQFIT Activate just a little. Let me back off of that. LinkedIn has some advantages, but you got to work at it. You got to work at creating the right profile, the right pages if you've got a business. Then you have to work at getting people engaged with you. If you want to go all the way to become a creator and approved through LinkedIn and then put out these LinkedIn lives, that's a great way to do that. But if you do that, let me just suggest that you do it from an educational perspective, not a sales perspective, because that's kind of more accepted. People like to learn about things, and I've fine-tuned mine over the years. The downside to LinkedIn is you're highly limited in certain areas. Like, for instance, unless you have a premium or Sales Navigator membership, which don't give you that much more, you don't get to do a lot of in-mail messages, meaning reaching out to people you don't know or you're not connected with. So there's a lot of limitations there. I kind of understand why they do that, but you need to understand what those limitations are. But as of today, I think I'm somewhere around 10,500 connections, which is a lot more than most people, but certainly a lot less than some. I ran across somebody the other day that has 60,000 connections. I'm going, I want to be there. So that's LinkedIn. Now, Alignable is fascinating. If you're a small business that caters to other small businesses, it is a wonderful platform. The difference between LinkedIn and Alignable is they have this thing called Smart Connects. Think speed dating for small businesses. You can literally get on an hour Smart Connect and talk to about 7 different small business owners. And it's a wonderful platform for me because what I do is I help people grow their business. First, grow themselves, the right mindset, the right skills. And I do that through a package of assessments that I give to people to know exactly where they are right now so they can see inside themselves like they're looking at a very good mirror. And then from there, I go into a 6 to 8 week coaching process that helps them move forward and grow themselves, grow their business, because most people didn't get into own their own small business to be a salesperson or a business development person. They just want to do their passion. Okay, so I've just described the EQFIT Activate process. That's what EQFIT Activate is all about. How does Alignable work? Well, there is a free membership. You get 5 credits a month or connections a month where you can reach out to other people. The next level up is called Premium, where you get 25 connections a month. So you can send out a connection request to someone, and if they accept, then there's one of your connection credits. And then there's Premium Plus, which you get a lot more connection credits. And I want to say it's 75 connection credits a month. I'm not exactly sure. You can check in on their plans and see what that looks like. But what I really like about Alignable, while there are limits on the number of people you can connect with, when you're on those Smart Connects, you can tell them, hey, I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me there. Or you can send them a message and connect by email. You can give them your email address in that 7 minutes that you're in those Smart Connects. So I didn't start doing the Smart Connects with Alignable until about, I want to say 4 weeks ago. Now, in the last 2 weeks, I have really ramped that up, and I want to share that experience with you. By the way, I'm going to try and keep these videos at about 15 minutes or less. So let me move on here. This week, this is Saturday, I just finished 14 Smart Connects. It used to be that Alignable would limit the number of Smart Connects you can do in a month. Now they don't limit that, which I think is a wonderful decision. So 14 was a lot. And I met 14 times 7 people in that time frame, and made some wonderful connections. Now, those connections are not supposed to be about selling your stuff. They're literally networking. Think of Alignable as a true networking platform, but where you get to talk to people and get to know people and meet them. And then there are some very cool connections that come out of that. Some of those people may become your clients, but some of those people may become really good referral partners. So there's a dual pathway on Alignable that I think is very good. And you can, you have to build your profile carefully, make sure that you use the right tags so people really understand who's your ideal client and who's your ideal referral partner. That's all stuff that I can work with people on if they come into my EQFIT Activate process. But the key here is I think you need both platforms if you're a small business or even a solopreneur. I think you use both platforms. Why not, right? Because visibility is important. But think about your offering. Who are your ideal clients? If they're large businesses and all of that, LinkedIn is probably more of a primary for you. If they're small businesses like me, my heart is to really help small business owners grow their business and grow themselves along the way, then Alignable is amazing for that. So I'm on both. Obviously, I do LinkedIn Lives. I have a YouTube channel. I have all kinds of social media stuff going on. And by the way, if you're interested in my other social media platforms, just they're in the description here on this video. Think about your sweet spot. What is your sweet spot? And then invest more time in either LinkedIn or Alignable, depending on what your sweet spot is. Who do I meet on Alignable? A lot of financial advisors, a lot of people selling legal services like Legal Shield and things like that. People doing funding and loans. I meet a lot of coaches, life coaches, business coaches, executive coaches. I meet a lot of people serving other entrepreneurs and small businesses. But what I've found is that it truly is a building relationship process on Alignable. That takes a lot longer on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not set up in the same way. Personally, and this is my sweet spot, I like talking to people. The way I look at life, there are just friends I haven't met yet. And so if I meet you on Alignable or somewhere else, I love talking to people, which is obvious from these videos probably. But the key here is find your sweet spot. Who do you serve? Who do you want to sell to? Who do you want to offer what you do to? And then put more time into that platform, LinkedIn or Alignable, depending on what your offer is and the way that you want to impact the world around you. But I would suggest you be on both. Now, I've kind of already told you about the EQFIT Activate process. Here's what I have found. People want a compressed time frame process where they have good insight, good data to work off of, and a very clear pathway forward. So EQFIT Activate is all about 5 or 6 assessments on the front end, measuring many different things. Measuring personality, sure, everybody measures personality, right? DISC or strengths or whatever it happens to be, but that is incredibly limited. Personality, mindsets, motivators, habits, habit profiles, productive and counterproductive habits, emotional intelligence, sales skills, cognitive skills, trustworthiness, coachability, response to conflict. There are many different things to measure to get a holistic look at the individual. But my goal is to show somebody what they are inside, because the more we understand what's going on up here, the better equipped you are for the future and to grow your business. And then we get into a 6 to 8 week coaching process where we develop a customized roadmap for the growth of the individual and their business. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. Some of the other playlists that I've been feeding over time are going to go away. And I'm going to really focus on this because this is my passion, to help small business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, up to 100 people, employees, grow themselves and grow their leaders and grow their business. So have a great weekend. This is Saturday for me. I don't know when you'll see this, but I hope you have a great weekend, and um, have a great rest of the year, and find that growth pathway, because there is hope and optimism for all of us who choose that. And I want to be a part of that. Thanks again.